to get a call. I gotta go.
We can 14 days.
Okay.
Are we ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it is 6:30. We're gonna call this meeting to order, November 23rd, 2020. If you will, we're gonna do invocation first.
Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight in prayer to ask for your guidance and wisdom. As we strive to make good decisions for our city, we ask that you lead us to do your will as we conduct business of our city. And as we move to propel our city forward, we ask that you watch over all of us. And thank you for your many blessings. Keep us safe and healthy and guide us home safely. We ask all these things in your son's name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
No citizens for citizen input? No emails or anything?
No.
Okay, new business. Consider and/or take action to remove Mayor Alan Shoemake and City Administrator Susan Roberts as a signatory on the city checking account.
Do we make an announcement?
Oh, sure did, my bad.
Second, number 4.
Yeah, the second number 4. Any announcements, I'm sorry.
Yes, I have one.
I have one too. You go first.
Mine's just brief. Everybody, every year we do a celebration in the park. It's called Christmas in the Park. It's a city event and Friends of the Park helps host the event. And this year I have some information on that. It will be Saturday, December the 12th. The tentative start times of that is 5 o'clock or 5:30. We haven't decided yet. The theme is Christmas in our hometown. And the reason why that was chosen is because we believe this year that with the COVID and everything that's been going on, that we want to unite our city and kind of restore some of the traditions in our town. We want to make sure that our citizens are involved in this too. I'm not going to go into a lot of the details. That'll be forthcoming. But we're going to do a drive through the park. We're going to try to make sure that they are going to try to make sure that all the decorations go completely around the park. It will encompass the entire park. The park will be open every night after December the 12th. It will be open some during the week, but most of the decorations won't be up until then. We'll have a city Christmas tree lit that night. And we also want to encourage because we haven't really done this in the past, we want to encourage our homeowners and residents that live here to decorate your house and the businesses too. We kind of want to take it back to an old-fashioned type Christmas. And so after they leave the park, they can come and drive through the neighborhoods and see homes lit up. And I've heard a lot of people say they're going to be decorating their homes this year because they don't have any place to go or do. So we want to include our citizens in on this. We're going to have an organizational meeting. They've told us that if you want to go to the West Tawakoni Friends of the Park Facebook page, you can do that for information on this meeting. If anyone wants to be included in this, we're not going to exclude anyone from this. We may do it this Sunday at 2 o'clock, but that has not been finalized yet. So just keep checking back on the page. But that's what they've sent me so far.
And that's on the Friends of the Park page?
It's the West Tawakoni Friends of the Park.
And that's the best point of contact for questions?
It really is,
Okay.
yeah. We can get information more from that.
It'll also be on the park page too.
Yes, it'll be on the city's park page, yes. So, that's all right, thank you.
Okay, Randy, you have something?
Yes, I do. I got a small one. Okay, Chris.
Okay.
East Tawakoni, Spirit of East Tawakoni has invited everyone and anyone from West Tawakoni to join in on their parade
Their parade will be December 12th. Lineup will start at 3:30. They'll do the parade around the city. Then they will go over to the library where they'll have their tree lighting, cookies, hot cocoa, photos with Santa. I know, the fire department will be in the lineup out there. So we just want to make sure and invite everybody and anybody else from West Milwaukee out there.
So it's the same day, just 9.5 difference in the being our park.
12:05?
12,
It's
12.
12:05.
Oh, it's 12, 12.
No, 12:05. Lineup starts at 3:30.
Okay.
12:12.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yes, I'm reading your notes. Yeah, 12:05.
Yeah.
Lineup starts at 3:30.
Okay, and that's, where does the lineup start at?
It'll start at the city hall.
Oh, City Hall, okay. Okay, all right, thank you. What you, Brandon?
My turn. I have an announcement to make. You're gonna probably see this, on at our next council meeting we have. Pull this down a little bit, talk. We have a problem over at the police department with our computers. This right here is a G-Tech computer that has been in our police cars. This unit right here, this is mine, so this is probably 12 years old. This computer is. It's a G-Tech SC S400 computer. We recently had one of the computers break right here through wear and tear. This right here, it broke all this off right here, and the screen will not stay up. This one and another one has the video cards are out on them, and it's attached to the motherboard. So I sent these off to our technical support, which is Chuck Witt. He's the only one that can work on these because of the information through TLITs, through Texas DPS that we receive on it. He's our authorized tech support with our department in DPS. He's unable to fix it because the video card is attached to the motherboard. So we contacted GTAC. GTAC was a computer that was built by CopSync, and CopSync is no longer building computers anymore. So the packet you have in hand, they can't fix that computer either because it's obsolete. So in some ways, we kind of made a bad decision 2 years ago when we purchased two of these new ones, because we purchased the S400 computers about the time they were going to leak. So we should have did some more research. So we're going to have to probably eat that. We have one that is functioning right now. We're going to be able to still use today. But right now we have one laptop in the police department that we're having to move from police car to police car to police car, and it's creating a problem. So I was referred to this company called Peacemaker, and it's the packet that's in front of you. Please look at it at your leisure. It is a tablet computer that can detach outside the car, so the officer can take evidence photos of car accidents, and be able to upload that information directly to his report. The computer comes with a 3-year warranty. This is kind of out of order. This is how they sent it to me. I packaged it up real quick because I thought it was on the agenda tonight. The only thing I want to tell you about this, and I'll go into more detail with it on the next one, but I'm sure you're probably going to look over it over the weekend and the holidays. Turn to the back pages where it talks about, where you'll see some financial numbers. Yeah. Turn to the back page. So, okay, so it should say, it should be estimate 1420. See that 1420 right there? Okay. So on estimate 1420, if we was to purchase 3 computers, that's with the dock mounts and everything for the police car to install it, because I can use the printers we have right now, the thermal imaging printers we have. I had them take those out of this because those are still good. We can still use those. Those are Bluetooth capable, they're Bluetooth right up to them. If we were to purchase 3 of them, it'd be $17,025.
This is for free, right?
That's for 3, okay? If you was to turn to estimate, the next one, I believe is estimate 1421. That next one, where it says $5,175. If you was to buy just one of those units, that's how much it would cost you just for one. Okay, So in other words, if y'all said, hey, we just want to buy one of them right now, which really isn't going to help us, but if we were to only purchase one and we were to put it in the new vehicle that we were fixing to purchase, we would take that $5,175 and we would add it to the cost of our vehicle because we've not signed the contracts on that vehicle yet. Okay? If we were to purchase one, just one computer. Yes, sir.
Is it cheaper to buy them one at a time?
No, sir.
Same
And
price.
next week is going to be the best option for you. So you're looking over this weekend, and I'll go into more detail about it at our next meeting. But if you turn to that next estimate, that 1422, okay. So the 1422 estimate is buying 3 computers. You see right there where it says long-term accounts receivable?
Mhm.
Okay, so what they're going to do, turn that next page. See that $3,605?
Yeah.
What they're going to do is the city would have to make 3 installments, one every year for the next 3 years for $3,065
Per one unit?
for 3 computers.
Oh, for 3,
For
okay.
3 computers, that's right.
This is 3605 per year. Per
Yes,
unit or?
per year for 3 units for the
Okay, for
next
all
3
3
years.
units, okay,
That's right.
okay.
So all the equipment on those other ones, we're going to get for $3,006 or $3,605.01. Okay, that's the dock station, the computer, and like I said, we have the printers. So
3 installments?
3 installments, one every year. So what we would have to do, and we'll talk about it on next Monday, is we would have to figure out how to do it this year, and then the next 2 years, we have to build this into our budget.
Do you think you'll still get the same lifespan on these as you did that one?
Yes.
You will?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
You have one good one.
Have one.
Is there a resale value on it?
No.
That help
That
towards that?
old, I wouldn't
No.
think so.
What we, the one we just bought last year, that was, okay.
We're still gonna use the best GTAC we have, and I'll probably use it, 'cause I like them. So, but, so at the end of this, after the 3 years, you have a choice you can do. You can pay $1 and you own the computers, you just keep using them if you like them. Or if you want 3 new ones, you do another contract for the 3,605.01, and they bring you 3 new computers, a new dock station, you got computer cards.
Okay, so the 360501 is kind of like a lease.
Yes, yeah, it's like a lease. We're paying to own it. It's just that last dollar at the end of it, we're gonna pay. There's no interest on it. It's not a government capital loan. It's nothing, it's kind of like how we bought our tasers in the past. They take the amount, they break it over the years. There's no interest to it.
It's a lot less than the 3.
Right.
And is this the only option, or is this just one that you put together, or were there other?
Well, good question. You talking about computer option?
Mhm.
Right. This is under $50,000, so I don't have to get 3 bids on it, okay? The reason why you need to go with this one is because these people right here are COPSync certified. And what that means is that COPSync will only load software on computers that they say, okay, we'll do this. Like COPSync will not upload on HP. They won't do it. They won't give you tech. If you have an HP computer in your car, they're not going to give you technical support on it. You're going to have to figure it out for yourself because the HP computer's bad with it.
So
This
that-
company right here is COPSync certified. They're trained on tech support, so they can tech support these computers along with COPSync too.
Okay, so that just limits the scope for searching on what?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna limit it. DPS uses these same things. They like them. So we'll talk about next Monday or whenever we have our next meeting about how to pay for this year. We have some ideas. Because when it comes to computer equipment like this, we're allowed to use some of the core technology fund. We can use that. And I'm thinking maybe we can redirect some money to be able to suffice this. This is something we will have to have a resolution on because we'll be entering into a contract with them to purchase these computers. So we will have to do this by resolution if it's something that we do. So at our next meeting, we'll have it on the agenda for discussion or take action for you.
Okay.
Okay? If you have any questions about it throughout the week or something, give me a call. If you do not have my PD cell phone number, you need to get with me after the meeting so I can give it to you. So you have it. I think everybody here has it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, man. Okay, now number 5 is, new business. Is to consider and or take action to remove Mayor Alan Schumake and City Administrator Susan Roberts as a signatory on the city checking accounts. You got any discussion or? Sure.
I make a motion, we go ahead and remove him.
I say.
All in favor? Oh,
Kevin Featherston,
Leon Myers,
Robin Myers.
Chris Burkett.
Rhonda McKeon.
thanks for doing that more, guys. Okay, B, consider and or take action to add myself, Mayor Jim Turnipseed, and Mayor Pro Tem Kevin Featherston, and City Secretary Annette Lemons as signatories for the city checking accounts.
I'll make a motion, we get you guys added.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? Concerns, questions, anything? Anybody? All in favor?
Kevin Featherston,
Leon Myers,
Robin Myers.
Chris Burkett.
Rhonda McKeon.
Okay. Next item is 6 is discussion and or take action on the position of code enforcement moving under the supervision of the police department. Currently, we're not moving a person, we're just talking about moving a position. Correct?
That's correct. So during our budget workshop, we discussed, about moving code enforcement back over to the police department. That is something the council wanted to do. As of right now, I need a vote, I'm gonna need a vote, a second, to be able to move that over to the police department so I can start the interview process to get someone hired. We do currently have 2 applicants right now. One of them is here in the city, lives in the city. The other one is police certified already, who's interested in taking that job. There is going to be some restructure with that on how we handle code enforcement. I've already been working on that. So you're going to see some more detail in that. There's going to be a presentation probably, I want to say in January, about how we're going to, what we're doing to change code enforcement and how we're going to start enforcing it in the city. There'll be a PowerPoint presentation on that.
Mayor, can I speak on this?
Yes.
So I think obviously we've got to move the position over to the police department as we've spoke in our workshop. But the more things that come up within our city, i.e. computers, and we're probably gonna have something else in the near future, maybe even the police department, but we've got some other things within the city that's coming out. We've got our vehicles that still we're gonna have money to go out on police department and on public works that, yes, we're supposed to sell vehicles, but hey, you can't count your eggs before they hatch. So I think that this is something we'll do, but I want to make note, and maybe it's something we put in our workshop that's coming up or the very next one that we really need to talk about, and we'll have to have Brandon involved. We really need to talk about how we're going to handle this position. I know we've set money aside in our budget, but I think our budget is losing breathing room rapidly as every day goes by. You know, and I made a statement in our budget, our last budget workshop, that I can assure you, we made mistakes. Number one, because we're all human, but number two, because we had to do it in such a forceful manner. We went through that budget really rather quick, in my opinion. We were down to the last line, right? So I think I just want to say that I think we need to really, really talk about how we're going to handle this. We really need to come up with some ideas and get really creative.
I kind of see possibly maybe a committee kind of working with the chief to figure out a game plan on how that's gonna take place, and a game plan of what we want the code to actually look at within our city and how we're gonna do that.
And I mean, just to lead on to a little bit more of what I'm trying to say is, in my eyes, I don't know if we just force ourselves, which we need code, 100% we need code, but I don't know that we force ourselves to, because we set aside so much money, but outside of that, when you got insurance and other things, that salary actually grows exponentially. So let's just call it that it ends up being $50,000. It's going to be close to with all the other cost that occur with a person that's hired on, whether it's gonna be training, whatever it is, that $50,000, what happens to that in 1 year? What does that do for, what does that do for our city versus code enforcement versus not having us go so far in the red on some of our line items? So that's where I'm looking at. Yes, ma'am.
I just have, this particular agenda item, doesn't mention hiring that person. Does that need, I mean, can we do that on this agenda?
No,
Or is that gonna be
we're
on
not talking about
another-
hiring. We're just talking about moving it. I'm just asking that we're gonna move this position over to the police department. I just, during the discussion part of it, I wanted to say that I want us to look at, while we're on record with everybody here. So really what I was trying to do was get everybody's wheels turning as to thinking about the, the tablets or the computers, and we still have sales of vehicles.
Other unforeseen.
Right, we still have sales of vehicles that have to warrant us that down payment that we have to pay for the police vehicles and the city vehicles that we haven't sold yet. So I wanted to get everybody's wheels turned and start thinking about, okay, well, we've got quote unquote $50,000 sitting here. Do we commit ourselves to completely forcing this $50,000 out, out of the budget? Or do we say, hold on, do we need to look at it for this year, since we're trying to get motion moving forward, because obviously we haven't been able to do that. So it's just something for everybody to think about, and like you said, maybe we develop some kind of committee and talk about this.
So, you want to add it on next Monday?
Can I
Go
address
ahead,
that?
well, I'm sorry.
Because we're in discussion of it right now, so we might as well talk about it right now.
But it's not on the agenda. Was my-
No, it's not,
No,
just
but-
talking about the position itself.
Okay, all right. My first plan with code enforcement my first plan to do this was we weren't gonna move anybody over there.
Right,
It was me and Jordan was gonna tackle it down, and we were gonna split the city up into quadrants. And we would both have to commit 1 day a week to get out there and actually do it.
so let's say those kind of discussions for the Monday workshop.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I would like to discuss some options of how we're gonna handle that position. So obviously tonight it's on the agenda to move the position to the police department, which I 100% agree with, and we all stated that in our workshop. So we have to do that, or well, we have to at least vote on it.
Right.
And then let's talk about what are options of how are we gonna articulate that position once it's in the police department.
You don't have to vote on it tonight. You can table it and then have your,
Well, all we're doing is moving, that's why I clarified earlier, when I first read this off, was that right now, we're just moving the position, not the person or individual.
right, you're just moving the position.
I think right now, it's is it under general fund in that? So we're just moving it from there back to the police department, because I think 3 or 4 years ago, we moved it to the police department, is that right? And then we moved it out, back
Well,
to general fund?
Actually, it's in its own department. which
It had, okay.
it's been moved back and
I
forth
know,
probably
right?
5 or 6 times in the last 10 years I've been here. So-
I know, right?
So just to get through the night, we just need a motion to go
Yes.
ahead and move it to the police
And
department.
I'm gonna, if there's no other discussion, I'll make a motion that we move the code enforcement to the police department.
All in favor? No.
Kevin Featherston?
Leon Myers.
Chris Burkett.
Rhonda McKeon.
So are we gonna do a workshop
We're gonna do a week
before
from
the
today,
Monday?
a week from today.
Before the meeting?
Well, it's gonna be pretty long.
Yeah.
We got quite a few action, or
Yeah.
not action items, workshop.
We need to make note to put that on our.
I've got it there on that one, let me put it on the sheet.
And what time is the workshop?
6:30.
6:30.
Okay, to the boss.
Okay, all right, okay. Line 7, discussion and or take action, remove Chuck Calkins as interim city attorney, and discuss a replacement options. Kevin, you got this?
Yes, sir. So I guess right now what we want to discuss is some of our replacement options, right?
Do we need to do a motion and a second to remove Chuck first before we discuss?
No, it's a moot point.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a moot point, but if we actually make a motion and we pass it, then we can't talk about it.
Yeah.
Once it's done. So, everybody got in their packets, right? A few of the attorneys that were option,
Two, I think two.
wasn't there 3 in that?
There was a third one that they never sent us.
I'm gonna have-
No, that's you had on that, you're getting old under these glasses.
So we have the two then.
Agent didn't do it.
Alright,
So we have the two and then the, email that you sent that goes with one.
right. So we got those two, and then there was also there's another conversation that's been had with Jim McRoy, as one of our options as well. There's really no reason to have much paperwork on him since we know what it would be the same cost and everything, we would have benefits to the city. Shayna, I want to talk about Shayna first. Everybody see that one? I'm not gonna say her last name because I don't want to mess it up. If somebody wants to say it.
I think it's pretty.
She said,
No.
Shayna is actually, if you'll see her references, do y'all see her references? Quite a bit there with hers.
What a background.
She is an attorney for several other cities. Now, the difference for her is she does primarily most of her stuff by like Zoom or call in. And I think that's kind of way of 2020 or the century we're in now. And I'm okay with that. Now, if y'all will look on the last thing you got from her, it wasn't in your packet. You look on the second page, on the bottom of it says page 1.
You mean on the email?
On the handout.
Yes, ma'am, that second one that you got,
Oh.
it didn't come in your packet, but it was the one that I handed you.
Okay, gotcha.
And it says page 1 on the bottom of it. So you got option A. And then the next page is gonna be just option B, right? So option A is monthly retainer plus hourly fees. And you're welcome to, if you want to go take time and go through and read that, we can kind of pause and let everybody read it so you could go through it yourself, or I can kind of go through it and kind of explain to you what it's telling us. It's basically that she proposes, you'll see there, it's $22.50, right, per month. So we'll have, be at $27,000 per year. And then it's 12 equal installments. But the one thing that I'm looking at is it's 15 hours each month, routine legal services. So that's what we would get. So that's where we were looking at that wrong.
I see that now.
So we'd have 15 hours each month. She would call in, she would come here if we needed her to, but we would get some travel time and mileage. The travel time obviously would come out of our hours. So we would need to think about that. She would be coming from Dallas.
It's north, I think it's northeast,
Yeah.
northwest Dallas.
Yeah,
I'm
she's
sorry.
probably, I would say she's a good, with no traffic, she's right at an hour, but with traffic, she's gonna be an hour and a half east. So we'd have some mileage and we would be eating some of our time up with travel time.
I thought she was out of Will's Point. Is she just the attorney?
Yes, ma'am, she's an attorney for Wills
Okay,
Point.
that's,
She's an attorney for Wills Point, Mineola,
Grand Sling.
Grand Sling. She's got a pretty wide resume, and that was in what came in your packet from Annette. I think she would be a benefit, but, here's the thing where I'm trying to ask everybody is, y'all should know by now, me, when I'm looking at things, I look at things in dollars and in cents, but to me, we've set a budget that we've kind of got to try to figure out a way to somewhat uphold as a council. And so I'm asking you guys to help all of us make a formal decision on how do we figure out how to uphold that budget. Now, the other one was,
We just make a budget amendment or budget adjustment if necessary.
Right, in which you have, when you have a budget that has room for, right? That's what I'm nervous of is, especially with some of the other things that I know we got going on, like our water plant. I mean, it's needing some things to do, but anyways, the other one was Scott, Ray, and Sullivan. And Annette, you might give me a little tidbit here, but this is the one that was a little tough getting some things back.
No,
That was another one?
this one, the other one, I still haven't done anything.
Okay.
This one, she responded pretty quick.
Okay. So this one is somewhat close to the same as what we would be dealing with Jim McElroy. His was 2,000 or, well, it's 2,000 for us, 250 for, right.
But I have a question on this other one.
Yes, ma'am.
It did not mention court. Does she handle court?
Yes,
Because,
yes. She said she would, she said she would. It was in one of,
Yeah, I thought I saw that.
Well, on her first page of her resume, she shows to be the city attorney and prosecutor for Wills Point. I thought it was Grand Saline. Yeah, Grand Saline.
You did not see that. Grand Saline Municipal Court. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only thing, one thing to think about that too, with what you're saying, Kevin, with her, we would really need her to be here physically for at least probably 3 or 4 meetings, just to get to know each other. So we'd have to build that in up front, that we know that we're gonna have to have an expenditure of mileage and time, the mileage on top of the time it gets it. So you're looking at, let's say, two and a half hour time plus 120 miles per meeting,
right.
added on to that. So it's gonna be a little bit more upfront, for both of these candidates, both the Scott, Race, and Sullivan, and the Shayna.
This is true. Now Scott Ray, the cost is pretty much the same as what we were paying Jim McElroy. It's the 2,000 per month. That is correct, right? And then, now the one thing that is different with Jim in talking to him, he never really gave us any kind of hours restriction. He said, once it went, he would let us know if there was something that was really, really deep that he was having to go into. But in how many years was he attorney?
Almost 8 years.
8. He was saying, and I didn't want to lie, but he was saying in all the years he was attorney for the city, he never went over that. He didn't charge us any more above and beyond.
That's a big plus, and he was here for all the meetings needed.
Actually, there's been numerous times, or at least several times, that he's come down here, I guess unscheduled or for a particular situation or whatever. So, I mean, he did do that, and not charge us. He never has believed in billing. He just seemed to make it a flat rate and that's it, because he has to take his time of 1 day a month for 6 cities and doing the billing and all that. So I know he never did like doing an hourly thing, so that's why he does it monthly.
Now, the other side of it is it was mentioned that if we did continue doing Zoom style meetings or had the Zoom availability, that Jim would actually be interested in taking advantage of some of that for our regular session meetings. He had no problem being here. If we ever needed him to be here, he would be here. Or if we asked him to be here, he would just be here. But if he did start doing some of the Zoom style meetings more and more, we could actually even talk a little bit deeper, should we decide if we wanted to go with him and look at what that would actually look like. And he would give us a discount, because that would actually make him not have to fly here. And then, I mean, quite honestly, he said one of the biggest things was the driving back in dark, and my wife, unfortunately, she's still up, so. So that would be another thing that was mentioned, was there could be a discount structure that we could talk about if he ended up opting, or if we ended up opting using him through a Zoom meeting on a, say, and I'm putting something hypothetical because we didn't talk about a number, but if we said, okay, we'll give you 6 Zooms a year and the rest, we would want you in person, whatever, and what would that look like? And he would be able to give us some kind of a difference of a breakdown or a breaking price.
I have a comment on this, Scott Ray and Sullivan. I kind of did a little digging into this, what they sent us. And I noticed that this is an actual law firm, so would this Abigail Sullivan be the attorney that would be working with us all the time, or would we be referred to these others that are listed here? And I also see on here, and they're at $200 per hour. I also noticed that there's paralegal fees that could be added into this. And for any special project or litigation, the attorney fee goes up to $100 and the paralegal fees go up to, $300 and the paralegal fees go up to $100. So there's some little added things in there that if you really don't read through this, that could start mounting up on us.
You're right, and I was gonna go back to that and explain, hopefully everybody was looking at that when I was trying to talk about the other one, but you're exactly right. This is one of those that kind of has some things in the fine print.
Yes,
That if you don't read the fine print, you might get caught up in a booby trap.
right.
This is 6 different attorneys.
Mhm. I like the idea of having a single person or a single attorney that we can go to all the time. I'm not saying that this firm is not a good one, I'm sure they are.
Is there Gringle's attorney? They're a good attorney.
I'm sure they're very good, but I like that kind of one-on-one experience for us since we're such a small town.
And I actually like I actually like the fact that, that they had multiple different attorneys, because it may depend on the subject at hand, one person's expertise. They do have a very good reputation, and they are very close. So that would eliminate some of the problems from the other two that I thought were, very strong positives.
Going back to your one attorney, that personal touch with Jim. Jim knows our city. With us not having an administrator, that's gonna be a big positive right now. To already have that relationship with somebody.
Well, I think the idea tonight was to accept the resignation. I think Rhonda said that was kind of a moot point and.
Well, yeah, because the contract had already ended prior to
Right.
us even coming.
So I understand that, but I think the biggest part was to get this information passed along, have a little bit of discussion. There's really not a decision on our agenda to be made tonight on who we're gonna have for city attorney. But now that you guys have it, and I think in my eyes, or what I'm seeing is, these are our options. It's gonna be Scott Ray and Sullivan. It's gonna be Shayna Pramox. Sure, whatever. And it would be Jim McElroy. So I think our very next agenda that we put out, we need to have that as a decision to be made with
And
those.
we also, I'm sorry, but, she said there was someone else that we hadn't heard back from. Is that the only one? or-
My problem with this company is we've been asking them for a month, and if it's gonna take them a month to get us a bid, what if we need them in a hurry?
Right, that makes sense.
That's right there.
They're
It's
not
kind of like,
in
as of Friday, it was disappointing. No, I
Yeah.
don't have an answer.
Yeah, I just didn't know if there were any other ones besides that one that we had waited
And we
on.
reached out to a lot of people, and they said they are too busy. They really could not take on a new client.
I think it was 6, wasn't it? Six.
We had, I know Alan reached out to 3, and right off the bat, we can't take on anybody new right now.
That's scary.
So, I guess that's it. That's all I have as far as that. I mean, we need to make sure that's on our next agenda to make a decision on one of our 3 options for city attorney, for sure. And other than that,
So you want to add that to the next week's?
Now, our next agenda is a workshop.
Yeah, true.
no, I'm saying our,
Just
not the workshop, yeah.
Regular.
8, I believe.
Yeah, it would be on our very next
Okay,
actual meeting.
good.
Do we have anyone in the interim that can help us if we should need an attorney right now?
Probably McElroy.
He said if we needed something, he would help us already.
I know Brandon needs him for, or needs an attorney.
Yeah, we have some resolutions that
A
have.
couple of them, I know one is Scarlet.
And the other one is the contract between the, us and Enterprise.
He agreed to help us with that.
I haven't talked to him about that.
Well,
He will.
in the past, he's always said his calling, he'll do anything, he'll do whatever.
Okay.
And in the conversations that I've had with him, he said if we need something, just call.
And so we won't be doing, we won't have a court, is that correct? No court.
We don't have court until the
Wait a minute.
Third Thursday of December.
No, there's one prior to that, it's like a Tuesday one, I think, what didn't Kim say?
no, we took care of that. That one actually got moved up into this last.
That was
Yeah,
covered.
that's when it fled.
Hang on a second, let me check with the other court clerk real quick.
That would be the 17th, the third Thursday.
Yeah, it's the 17th is our regular session.
So,
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
as per our earlier conversation.
Okay. Thank you, Ron.
Okay,
we have court scheduled for the 17th of December. That's gonna be a regular one.
Okay.
There's possibly a court that's also scheduled on December 15th, which has to do with code enforcement.
That's a Tuesday, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're putting all the code enforcement in one court and putting all the other stuff in the next.
So we're gonna have two courts a month now?
No, not normal. This is just.
Oh, just 1 month?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
we have to get these code violations resolved.
Okay. Well,
We've had
that
to
was
back up.
gonna be a little bit concerning.
Do we just need to have another special meeting just to get somebody in here?
Well,
what was the date?
The 15th and 17th. Municipal court is every third Thursday of the month.
So the 15th is code court.
So we'll have a meeting on the second too, the 8th.
Right.
And this is,
Did any of these attorneys, Shana say when they would be able to start if we hired
that's a good question.
them immediately or next year or?
That's a good question. And you know, there again, you're back at the same thing to where, though, all of these candidates look great,
I mean, I know the input.
but we got the learning curve to go through. And it would take a while for everybody to get to know
We may can reach out to Jim
them.
McElroy
That's what I.
and see if he will come over and do court for us on the 17th and 15th. There's a possibility he may do that.
We were just talking about that just outside here now.
So we'll figure that part out. I think right now you need a motion, right?
Yeah, we need just for formalities, we need to.
So I'm gonna make a motion that, we accept I really don't know, that's all null and void now though, but,
Make a
I
motion.
guess we can make a motion to remove Chuck Hawkins from city attorney.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Unanimous?
Kevin Featherston,
Leon Meyer,
Ron Murs.
Chris Burkett.
Okay. Brandon's been doing everything too. Item 8 is a discussion or take action to sell Scarlet to Commerce Police Department. I think it kind of goes back to one of the things you need.
Well, you can still take an action to sell her, to the Commerce Police Department. We just have to have a resolution to do it. Is that correct, Annette? They still take an action to do it? So Commerce Police Department has, made us an offer of $1,000 for the purchase of Scarlet. That is with some conditions too. They're still going, that officer who has, Scarlet, which is Tyler, once he's cleared, because he's been out with an injury, once he's cleared to come back to work, if we need her, we will still be able to access her to come over here.
What kind of, what kind of situation that's a long way.
It is, but they've agreed to, that if he's available and he's not on a present call or anything, and there's nothing going on, or he's off that day, and we end up in a situation where we have a traffic stop, where we have a denied consent, we can call him, and if he is available, he will come out here so we can still access the dog. The reason why I decided to do this is because we invested so much time and training and money into training this dog, that they feel that we should, you know, be able to get access to the dog if needed
For how long?
until she retires.
How old is she, 3 years old now?
She's probably 4.5.
Or 4?
Is there any fee for them coming and doing that?
No, there's no fee.
Currently, you can use Lonoke also, right? Do they
Um,
charge us?
No, we don't use Lone Oak. Rains County has a dog all the time. Yeah, so our first call would probably not be to get Scarlet over here. It'd probably be to Rains County first. Hunt County, then Rains County.
Well,
If
Is
Hunt
there a
County's all the way
fee
around.
split or anything?
Sir?
If we see some money or
Yes.
anything,
Yes.
what's, you know those figures?
Well, your district attorney takes the biggest portion of it, and then there's how much, I think it's 25%, and then the rest of it is split equally amongst the departments. And we should see I'm pretty sure we should see some seizures trickling down here in the next year or year and a half from, when Scarlett was up on 30 working. I know
She's
there's
not
some-
currently in use right now though, right?
She's just training. She's going through her training. Yeah, she did her recertification. She's going to do training and her recertification. But Tyler's down right now. He has to have another surgery, so he's going to be out for a while.
All right. Chair, entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we sell her to Commerce, as I hate to see her go, but as far as she's pretty much already gone.
I second it.
David, second, all in favor? Okay.
Kevin Featherston,
Leon Meyer,
Probably not.
Chris Burkett.
You'll see her again, I promise.
Oh, yeah, sure. All right. Item 9 is citizens input. We don't have any citizens input for input. And then break number 10. Chair,
wait a
entertain a motion.
minute, I do have a citizen's input.
Okay.
Oh, you do have citizens. Okay.
I wanna tell the citizens, happy Thanksgiving. And whether you're leaving town or having family over, I want everybody to stay safe and wear your mask and have a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. All second that.
did we get a motion?
No, I didn't get a
I
motion.
said I make a motion to adjourn.
Oh, you did.
I second it.
All in favor?
Kevin Featherston,
Leon Meyer.
Probably not.
Chris Burkett. Think we could leave her go home this time?